It's Top Dice. Hi, welcome to Top Dice. My name's Aid, and thank you for joining me today. Today is going to be something quite short. I won't be spending too long on it, but I just want to make my opinions actually known. This is relating to the release notes that we've had so far about the new Dungeon Master's Guide. Now, most of the things we've heard so far have tended to be more or less about the Player's Handbook and how that's shaping up. Well, Game Informer did an article based on what they'd actually sort of got from an interview, and it's to discuss those things that have come up specifically. My favourite setting of all time, which is Greyhawk Adventures. Now, Greyhawk, basically, I grew up with this setting since the 70s. It's been a part of what I've actually done. I've run campaign that spread over multiple groups that lasted about 20 years. So there's quite a lot of love from me actually for Greyhawk. That is where I really truly started my D&D and role-playing game time. Right. What I'll do, I'll read out the statement from here. And we will take it from there. Okay, now this is from Game Informer. Even as the multiverse of D&D worlds sees increased attention, the Dungeon Master's Guide also offers a more discreet setting to get gaming groups started. After very few official releases in the last couple of decades, the world of Greyhawk takes centre stage. The book fleshes out Greyhawk to illustrate how to create campaign settings of your own. Greyhawk was the original D&D game world crafted by D&D co-creator Gary Gygax, and a worthy setting to revisit on the occasion of D&D's golden anniversary. It's a world bristling with classic swords and sorcery concepts, from an intrigue-laden central city to wide tracts of uncharted wilderness. Compared to many D&D settings, it's smaller and less fleshed out, and that's sort of the point. It begs for DMs to make it their own. The book offers ample info to bring Greyhawk to life, but leaves much undetailed. For those eager to take the plunge, an included poster map of the Greyhawk setting sets the tone, and the reverse reveals a map of the city of the same name. A big draw to Greyhawk is it's the origin place for such heroes as Mordenkains, Tasha, and others, says Perkins. There's this idea that players in your campaign can be the next great world-hopping spellcrafting heroes of D&D. It's a campaign where heroes are born. Right. So that's what we actually have. Up to now, there has been very little in 5th edition relating to Greyhawk. And to be quite blunt, I've been very happy about that. The only real excursion of any type into Greyhawk was the Saltmarsh campaign. And that really was just very basic. It kind of touched on a few things, but this kind of worries me. Greyhawk is one of the classic settings, and it's very raw. It's very original. There's lots of content in there that is very 1970s, 80s, 1990s, and it just worries me that it's going to become, with further information, further releases, just another Forgotten Realms. Which it, for me and for quite a lot of Greyhawk fans, it just isn't. It's very much a world of its own, with its own nature. And one of the attractions is the almost basic, as it sort of says there, the uncharted wilderness. There were huge tracks that were sort of covered. There was the Living Greyhawk, which went on for several years. It was 5 or 6 years. Where they developed the world. When you go back to the original D&D, there was a great Greyhawk War. I always tended to set my stuff before the Greyhawk War. This is going to be obviously after, so they're going to choose a date, I suspect, advance it onwards. So the Greyhawk War will have taken place. There'll be some great changes actually made, and they will make it very modern. Very, hopefully not, but very probably very similar to the Forgotten Realms, and it will lose, for me, its identity. It would have been much better to have left it be, or the alternative is you just create what's actually there, as in the information from the DMG, and just let players do what they want with that. That, from experience, is not going to happen. It's looking like that this is going to be the main run-in now for this particular setting. So, as it says there, basically, after a few official releases in the last couple of decades, the world of Greyhawk takes center stage. So that's going to mean changes, big changes. You will be finding races in there that basically probably never existed in Greyhawk. There'll be other things that sort of turning up. Vecna, for example, Vecna was very much a Greyhawk character, Acererak, Greyhawk, and they found ways to sort of use the multiverse. Now, Vecna obviously appeared in Ravenloft as well, the Ravenloft setting, but essentially these Tasha, they were all Greyhawk characters, Greyhawk settings, and for me, as a little bit of a purist, and it's probably going to get quite a few dislikes on this one. For me, you should just leave this setting as it is. I'm going to do another chat about Greyhawk going forward. I'm also going to do another one regarding my points of view as to the Player's Handbook coming up, and also some chats about the art and other things in there, again, based off the Game Informer report that's actually sort of come out there. Please keep up to date with us on this. I am a huge D&D fan, and I have been since 1976. I was glad to see it back, even in 4th edition, although that's one I wasn't overly keen. It was still good to sort of see D&D was actually sort of there. And 5th edition, I am in many ways a fan of that as well. But for me, it's the AD&D and the OD&D, Original Dungeons and Dragons. Anyway, that's it from me for today. Please click subscribe, click like, keep up to date with what we're going to be talking about here. I will be getting others in to have a chat about the glories of Greyhawk and classic gaming as well. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you very much. Take care.